Yo. What it do? It's Don Vic, and welcome to the Don Vic Show. Now, today's episode, we got...
That boy Melo, man.
How we doing, man?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself?
I mean, my name is Melo. A lot of people know me as Melo or Thomas. I know you know me as Thomas, but a lot of my homies around Sheboygan that I grew up with for like the last 6-7 years since I've been doing music, they know me as Melo. So a little bit about myself, I'm really just a family-oriented person, man. Like, I do a lot of stuff around the community with the youth, with coaching, with volunteering with the Flawless League, with anything that I can get my hands on in my community, man. I like to just touch the kids, touch the community, give back to my community. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. I like that. Man of the people.
Facts.
Are you from Sheboygan?
No, well, I mean, I wasn't born in Sheboygan, but I grew up in Sheboygan.
Okay.
So
Where you from?
I was born in Milwaukee,
Okay.
but I moved to Sheboygan in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically am from Sheboygan. And, like, I seen you talking to somebody in your last interview about claiming Sheboygan or whatnot, and I like that. That's a conversation that I have with people a lot too. It's like, even though I'm not from Sheboygan,
You still rep it.
Sheboygan is my home because I've been here my whole entire life.
For sure. When someone says Sheboygan, a lot of people always have nothing but negative comments about Sheboygan. What do you feel about Sheboygan yourself?
It's like a love-hate relationship. It's hard to put it into words, but like, to sum it up, man, I don't regret anything about what I experienced in Sheboygan. Like,
Right.
I don't have any regrets about like my decisions or my choices, whether they were good choices, bad choices, me going to jail or my friend group or anything. Like, Sheboygan that's like I said, I wasn't born here, but I grew up here.
Right.
Like, I learned everything I know in Sheboygan, so I can't take anything away from Sheboygan. It's honestly like, it's my home, so I have nothing bad to say about Sheboygan. I feel like it's really a peaceful place, man. Like, another thing I heard you saying in your last interview about how it's like the Malibu of the Midwest or whatnot. That's what I remember why we moved here in the first place.
Right.
I asked my mom that question, like, what made us land in Sheboygan of all places? No, honestly, because my whole
You only
childhood.
hear it in some movies. That's about it.
Right, well, I didn't even in the movies. Bro, let me tell you a funny story, okay? So when I asked my mom this as I got older, I said, what made us land in Sheboygan of all places? Because I remember living in Milwaukee and Fond du Lac and Lamira, Port Washington, Grafton, all the surrounding cities of Sheboygan. So we just one day
everywhere.
Right. So we end up in Sheboygan. I asked her when I got older, like, what made us, she was like, it was just far away from everything else. But another thing when I got here, why I thought it was so foreign is because I never seen or knew what Asians were until I got to Sheboygan. No, and I'm being for real, because I was going to school, and for whatever reason, I don't know if I just don't remember seeing them when I lived in Milwaukee and Port Washington and Grafton or whatnot. But when I got to Sheboygan and I got to school, it was like I don't know if it's Asian or Laos or Hmong. Hmong. Okay, so Hmong. That's Hmong.
Majority of them are Hmong.
Yep, it was my first time seeing Hmong people, and I went home one day. I remember going home and asking my mom, like, Mom, what are those people that look like Mexicans, but they're like not black, but they're like our color? She was like, no, well, she said Asian. That's probably why I'm saying Asian. But yeah, this is my first time seeing that race here. For real.
Well, so that's what made you guys come to Sheboygan. Like, what made you stay in Sheboygan?
Well, if I'm being honest, when I first moved to Sheboygan, my mother had just got into a new relationship. So she got married that same year that we moved to Sheboygan, and the man that she got with, like, saved my family. Like, my mom was bad into drugs, just had her own stuff going on, and he just picked her up off her feet. Like, when it's funny because I just had this conversation with him today on the phone. He called me for the first time in a couple months, but I was just telling him, like, man, like, you came into my mom's life at the right time. Like
Right.
I was a young man. I think, like I said, I was in the 5th grade so whatever age that is. But like when I say the right time, like a young man around the 5th grade is like when you start to like build your own thoughts and
Right.
like you're starting to see what the world is. You know what I mean? And he gave me discipline and structure and all these other things that I still carry with me right now today that I instill in my own children and like even some of the people around me. Like principles and morals that he taught me, I carry with me right now to this day. And like when we came to Sheboygan, he just picked everything up and everything went right. But then things went wrong also. Like there was a situation that happened where he ended up like I don't want to use the word abused. They used the word abused. But what happened was biracial home, black father in the family in the home, and I did something wrong, and he disciplined me. Which what he did wasn't the normal discipline. It wasn't like a whooping with a belt, like I'm sure you got a whoop with a chancla or whatever it is.
Anything that she can get her hands on.
You know what I mean? But when it happens in your home, though, you're not worrying, or your parents aren't worrying about the thought of someone calling the police or. So long story short, what happened with me is I think I did something wrong, right? On a Friday. He wasn't home all weekend. He came home on Sunday. I was already warned before he got home, like, hey, when he gets home, it was like the trash or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, my sister must have heard my mom talking about it on the phone, like, hey, when he gets home, he's gonna whoop you. And when he got home, that's what happened. He whooped me with an extension cord. A lot different than what, you know what I mean? So, to fast forward the story, bro, I ended up getting whooped with an extension cord, body all tore up. I go to school. That happened on like Saturday or Sunday night. I go to school on Monday. I'm still kind of tore up and stuff. I had a scab on my arm right here, and I was picking at it in class. Started bleeding, and my teacher's like, hey, you should go to the office and get a Band-Aid. Boom, go to the office. She must have seen something that, like, as a kid, I'm not really seeing, you know what I mean? And she's like, honey, what happened? I'm like, nothing, I scraped it playing football or something. She's like, oh, okay. Go back to class. 20 minutes later, they, back in middle school, they used to call into the rooms on the speaker in the room or whatever. So I'm sitting down, and she's, hey, could you come back to the office? So I come back to the office, and police officers there and everything. And they basically asked me what happened. Told them, I had to tell them what happened, because they actually asked me, like, hey, do us a favor, could you take off your clothes for us, please? And and I did, and they seen my legs and my back, and like it looked like I was bad. So, and that's to answer your question. After all that story, what kept us in Sheboygan was that right there. Like I ended up getting taken from my mom, was put into the foster care system, and I was in foster care for about 6 or 7 years, maybe 8 years, and that entire time I was here in Sheboygan, going through middle school, high school, and just growing.
And between those, I want to backtrack a little bit more, where you said he taught you some principle and morals. Can you tell us like just one that still sticks with you to this day? You said.
Well, the most important thing that I can remember off the top of my head is, I know this is really small to some people, but it's something that sticks with me. It's the first thing that came to my mind. It's the yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir thing, and manners. Like, that's something that if you were to meet, you've met some of my children before, but if you have a conversation with any of my kids, or they greet you or anything, they have the utmost respect for their elders, for their grandparents, their uncles, aunts, whoever. And that's something that at 11, 12 years old, even though I picked it up right then and there when he taught it to me, I never let it go, because that, even as a man, that's very important to keep those, you know what I mean? Like eye contact, firm handshake, yes sir, all that stuff. Like he taught me how to be a man, so that was very important.
So staying in Sheboygan and being in foster care, did that lead to trouble, or like what type of lifestyle did you live growing up?
See, it's another reflection thing, man. Like looking back at it now, I can tell you that I missed the opportunity to utilize like the route that my foster, like I could have stayed out of trouble.
Right.
I could have.
Right.
My foster parents gave me every opportunity to be whatever I wanted to be. Like, whatever basketball camp I wanted to be in, whatever baseball camp, whatever football camp, whatever sport I wanted to do, anything I wanted to do, they were funding it. They were doing over everything. And like just being in the moment and being young and being rebellious because I'm in foster care.
Right.
And then another thing is like my foster dad was a police officer. You know what I mean? And then he was also the liaison officer of the schools that I was going to. You know what I mean? So, like, and I still decided to choose to be,
gremlin.
you know, if you know, you know. It's one of those situations. Like, I was just rebellious. I didn't want to listen. I was just.
And you said this was middle school?
Yeah, like I went through my middle school years in foster care with this family. And then right when I was in high school and started high school, I was just old enough and I was getting out of foster care. And then I finally got to move back home. And it was too late, man. Like I already had dropped out of school after my sophomore year. Like I chose my path already at that point. But like I said, looking back at it now, and I know I said at the beginning of this interview, like I don't regret anything, but like I regret wholeheartedly not taking advantage of
what you had
opportunity, because I was going, like, this family that I live with, it's not about materialistic things with me. It's not about anything like that at all. But it's like I just said, they were putting me in any situation to strive. And then I watched, they had their own kids, right?
Yeah.
That were older than me, but I was doing things I've never, a lifestyle. Some of my friends.
Never thought you would do.
You hear me? And some of the friends that I have right now, like.
Because of that.
Is because they almost, like, they gave me this lifestyle and made me look like somebody who I wasn't.
Right, no, for sure. I mean,
because I didn't come from that.
I mean, it's what they say is like you don't know what you got until it's gone.
Right. And I had that conversation with them years later.
Right.
I finally
realized it.
Crazy story. I'm saying this on camera because they're gonna watch this and people are gonna be like, "This is why I love having natural conversations." But like, years later, this probably happened about 3 or 4 years later. I randomly was saying a number one day, like 920-452-2766. You see how fast I just remember that, right? I'm like, why do I know that number? I'm like, let me just call it. So I call it, and I hear a voice on the other end, and it's a woman, and it was my foster mom. And I heard same tone, same happiness, everything. I got nervous, and I hung up. They called back. I didn't answer. But then they called back again, and I believe in energy, and whatever people believe in, God, whatever it is. But like I believe in energy, so I'm like, I have to answer it. So I answer it. I was like, Donna. I'm like, this is Thomas. And she got excited. She's like, oh my God, like it's been so long. And I'm like, hey. And so I just I put a time together to meet up with them. Drove all the way out to their house and I poured my heart out to them. I'm just like, man, like. And I brought my daughter with me, Eliana, at the time. She was probably like 6, 7 years old, and I just poured my heart out to them. I cried to them, told them like, man, like I'm sorry for giving you all the time, that hard time that I did, and just not appreciating what it was when it was what it was. You know what I mean? Because like my life wouldn't have been anything without them people. Yeah, like wholeheartedly, man. There was no, because I know a lot of people deal with foster parents or foster care system and don't experience that.
Yeah, and it's the complete opposite.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like that meant a lot.
There is real good foster parents. And
yes.
I always hear, like out of 10, I always hear 7 bad comments and 3 good comments about foster parents, and it's kind of sad because like I do know at least like 4 families that are foster parents, and they do an amazing job. So it's just like.
And you usually don't hear the good stories from the kids that grew up in the foster care system. Like my family, it's kind of messed up, but like a lot of my family went through the same stuff. And anything that I heard from any of my family that was in the foster care system, they say bad stuff like they went through like abuse or that type of stuff. And like I said, you never normally hear good stuff. But me, like shout out to Lyle, shout out to Donna Vanderweiss, but like that family right there, man, they saved me. And they still have, I think, a daughter that works in the police department. and then her husband, or they have a daughter, Allison, whose husband is actually Joel something. He's the sergeant of Sheboygan Police Department. So if you see this, Joel, man, shout out to your family, man. Shout out to the Vanderweiss and everybody who just looked out for me when I really needed it the most. For real, for real.
Oh yeah. There really is some good like motivational people that are out there and people that wouldn't think would be them. You know.
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living? You know, like, cause I always be seeing, you know, like you're a man of all trades. Like you be doing a lot of things, but like, what really got you into like making those masterpieces, like of those art? You know, like you can be making flyers or just everything. Like
Yeah.
not just flyers, but you know, you're good with technology. You're good with creativity, with all the types of stuff like that. So like, what really got you into that?
When I was doing music myself, I wished I had people who could do affordable work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was doing music and dropping projects, sometimes I would just have to use a bullshit picture that I had in my photos and drop music like that. And then when I started actually taking music seriously, I started realizing like you gotta have everything look the part to like get to where you want to be.
Right.
And I just didn't have everything that I wanted, so I started to like even after I was stopped thinking about being an artist, I just started wanting to help other people fix up their image or fix up whatever it is they got going. Like when I reached out to you, I knew what you were doing, and I was like, bro, if there's a way I can help, and that's just one thing I've always loved doing is creating.
Right.
Whether it's like writing music or music videos, like all my music videos back then, like I did the choreography for all my music videos with me and George, or structures of songs, or I just love creating. Whatever it is, I love creating. You know what I mean? So picking up a phone and utilizing an app and being able to just make whatever you want, and that's something I just became really good at. And I utilize it.
What was your journey with it though? Like how was it? You know, like some people can get into it right away. Some people just like takes a little finical time. You know, like to get the hang of it, to actually utilize the tool that it provides you. But like, how was your journey with it?
If I'm being 100% honest with you, bro, it is 2025, and you can literally, I can probably turn this phone around and show you and the rest of these people how fast I can just open up my phone, open up this app, take one picture, and press let AI take care of the rest. Or just speak into it what you want it to do, and it'll just pop it up in 30 seconds. If you don't like it, just refresh it and do it again. Like these new apps are so different. I'm not saying that I'm copying anybody else's. There's no plagiarism. Like I stamp everything that I do, but I just have always been good with technology itself. So when a new app comes out, I might watch a YouTube. Well, YouTube is my favorite app of all apps. So I might go on YouTube and watch somebody else create something and get inspired and be like, I can do that too. And then download that app and mess with it a little bit. And then all of a sudden I got something and I'm like, okay, I can do this too. Like that's how I've learned a lot of the things that I do, bro. Like I get on YouTube, I watch somebody else do it, and then I'm like, I can do that too.
Yeah.
It's literally that simple.
I feel it. I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I bet you I can do it in less time.
And respectfully, I know there are, but that's why I got to be respectful, because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm just taking a shot and being cocky and saying I can do everything and anything, because I know there are some things that people can do that I can't do.
Hell yeah.
But when it comes to technology and figuring out an app,
boom,
I can do that.
And I decided, like, you know, people always like, some people say like, oh, you act like you know everything. I was like, nah, I know a little bit about everything.
And I can figure it out.
You know, like I'm not saying I know everything about that topic, but I know a fact or two about that topic.
Yeah.
And by that, shit, makes me know everything. What you talking about, you know? So it's like, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Call me Smarticle. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
I would, because like you said, I done dipped and dabbled in everything.
Yeah.
Like I done been an artist. I was about to open up a building with like different things going on in it. Like, I don't know if you remember that or not, but I've done like the mentorship, I've done coaching, I pride myself in being able to just do a little bit of everything.
Right.
But it's a gift and a curse because I'm really still focused on trying to find what my lane is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What was your biggest dream up to date that got shot down? And when I say dream, it could have been already started, but it just didn't make the cut.
Naturally, the first thing that comes to mind is music, but music was never a dream of mine.
Right.
Like, when I was a kid, I didn't dream of being a big artist, or I didn't even pick up music until, like, well after I lived in Sheboygan. Like, I had maybe freshman year. Yeah, like freshman year of high school. Like, Andy Korboxy, I hope I'm saying his last name the right way. Do you know who Andy is?
I do not.
So, like, Enid and Avdil and all them.
Yeah, okay.
So Andy used to be, like, he's one of their, I don't know if he's related to them or not, but I basically went to school with him, and freshman year, everybody knew me of always trying to rap. Like, I was probably one of the first and only people in my grade that tried that shit, for real. And he engineered. Him and Jake Knuth were one of the first two people I ever made music with. Like, we used to leave school, go to Andy's house, go in the basement, smoke weed and record on bullshit laptop and bullshit mic, and his mom's like, we're sneaking down there smoking weed, hoping we don't get in trouble, and just doing shit we're not supposed to be doing. But, like, that's my first core memories of making music. And like I said, it was never a dream of mine, but that was like the first thing that I kind of focused on, and I was like, okay, and I had a buzz and everything, and I'm like, okay, maybe this can be something. But then it just was shot down, I guess, if that's what you were saying, like what got shot down. Like, I don't even know what happened, honestly. I think I just stopped. I never really put my all into it. I never tried to 100% be an artist or really try to take it anywhere. Like, I loved it, and I still love music right now. Like, it's a passion of mine. It's therapeutic. I love writing. I love listening to my old music, because everything that I made, whether it was for the club just for fun, or whether it was like storytelling stuff about family or females, I still love it. You know what I mean? But I just can't focus on trying to be an artist when I have to be a father, and I have to still make money, and I still, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't paying the bills. It's a struggle.
What was your first recorded song?
Something with, for sure, I would say something with Andy and Jake probably. And if I'm not mistaken, it was like a weekend remix of something, like a Love in the Crew. Okay. Love in the Crew. It was like that type of remix. I did something.
1 out of 10. What would you rate it? What would you rate it now?
A 1. Now 1 for sure. I ain't gonna give it a 0. But I'm going to give it a 1 because I know for a fact, like, I could actually pull up some of my first original songs that I did on my own on my computer right around that same time. And it's the same quality. The lyrics were always there. The message was always there. Like, I've always, from day one, talked about something that related to me. I never got on the mic and just came up with something or bullshit. Like, I always, no matter if it sounded bad or even my voice or my delivery wasn't there, I always wrote down what came from the heart. You know what I mean? So my words were probably there, but the quality wasn't there at all.
Like, as in just like music-wise?
Like sounding-wise. Like, no, because my thing is when I grew up and I was doing music, I had a thing for always doing industry remixing.
Okay.
Like, I didn't ever take the time to go find my own beat for the longest time. Like, I would hear a song and hear an artist going crazy, and I'd be like, oh, I can put my own shit to that. Like, let me go do a remix of that.
Right.
Truffle Butter? Like, Truffle Butter was one of my, who is that, Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj? Yeah, like, SoundCloud. This is back in SoundCloud days. Like, well, that's why I said I had a buzz, bro, because I was doing a lot of stuff like that where I was remixing popular songs, putting my own twist to it, my own swag to it, and my city was fucking with it. Like, they gave me my little buzz that I had, and like, and there was a song a series that I started called Facts. Facts
Mm-hmm.
Part 1 through Facts Part 3, and that gave me a buzz. And then it was also Problems Part 1, Part 3, and that was when I started the Problems Part 1 through 3 series is when I met George, and he was on my Problems Part 1 through 3, and when I met him, we just took off with the music stuff. Like that was a real big buzz, fun time, but just he got shot down, man. I couldn't even tell you what happened. I really couldn't.
Long story short.
Long story short, bro, we're both still living, we're breathing, and we're fathers.
Wow, biggest blessing one can receive. What you talking about?
Yes, sir. You said what? I mean, yeah, the police. That is another thing. And shout out to bro behind, like Bert. That's a good. That's a good point because
Why did it get shut down?
Kings Park.
Oh yeah, actually, okay. I know that.
Okay.
Kings Park.
Yeah, Kings Park. The shootout happened outside the show, and then ended up making a song about what happened at the show at Kings Park, and the city just didn't react well to that. Respectfully, like which,
They found it. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was out of my control. It
Right,
wasn't me,
right,
but it was my
yeah.
situation. I was responsible for the building, for the people there, and what happened caused me to be looked at the way I was.
Picture of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you would take a big fall from that, but I mean, mistakes happen. You know, like no one's perfect. You know, we all have our skeletons in our closets. You know, like at the end of the day, we're human. We make mistakes.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
Like
That's a fact.
what we can't control, we can't react to. You know, so it's like what happened then happened. It got dealt with, and everything got like everybody made their amends with it.
Yep.
Let's move on, and like things change, people change, moments change, everything changes. So therefore, like you can't judge what happened in the past to now. Like
Yeah, not
just
at all.
because that happened doesn't mean someone can be that same person. They can be the complete opposite and still be a great person with still trying to follow their dream that they want to follow that people don't support. You know.
I'm glad you said that because that's my mission now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when people ask me like why I do some of the things I do now, it's because my answer to them is like I'm trying to change the image that I
You
already
portrayed
portrayed
it for
to
yourself,
the public and to the police and stuff behind that artist stuff and all the things, the troublemaker that I was in foster care and then middle school and high school and then being an artist and like having all these bad things happen behind my name or around my name.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to change all that because I'll be damned if like I have my kids grow up in the city, you know, because Lord knows,
yeah.
I got, you know, and then they have my last name, and then they hear that
that's
name,
your dad.
you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to change that narrative ASAP.
No, I hear you. When facing a struggle or just like you're in the what do they call it just like in a stump. What do you do to get out of it? What helps you get out of it?
So I'm just going through something or
Yeah.
like facing a life problem. How do I get through it?
Mm-hmm.
Music, my kids and family. Like I said, all my music I used to make, or even just not even my music, just a relatable artist.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just throw on some music, just vibe out, man. Do what I do, and you know, just put it behind me, bro.
Right,
For real,
no,
because it's
no.
like, man, like all jokes aside,
No,
man,
for
like,
sure.
What else can you do? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and you're gonna let it define you,
Yeah.
and you're gonna just sulk about it? You're gonna whatever it is you're going through, you know, it could be anything. I'm not even gonna sit here and name examples. It could be anything. If you have a problem in life, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and you're gonna let it define you, and you're gonna let it fuck up your whole
Weigh you down.
everything,
Yeah.
or are you going to find something,
Right.
do something, family, a conversation, a song, anything, find something to get you out of that rut. Like that's what I do.
Oh, for sure. Did basketball ever help you with that?
Yeah, basketball has been a big part of my life.
Like growing up, did you start playing basketball at a young age, or how did that happen?
I started playing basketball on my first year when I came here to Sheboygan. My first core memory of basketball is Sheboygan Rec basketball. I played with my first team was the Bucks, and I played with Matt and Robbie Schrader were like the first kids that I was playing against in the rec team. And if Sheboygan, if you know, but the Schraders were like, they're twins here in Sheboygan, and they were it. Their uncle, Bill Schrader, played for the Packers and stuff. Like, these boys were it. So when I first came to Sheboygan and played basketball for the first time competitively and had to play against these type of kids, I thought, like, you know what I mean? It was over with for me. But that's what made me start to love basketball, because when I came here, Sheboygan was actually how I was introduced to basketball, and every kid was good. Like, I was like, damn. And I just fell in love with the shit. And granted, I didn't go professional, or I didn't play college. I damn near hardly played high school. I played rec basketball my whole life. I played CYO. I played in Flawless. The most I did in high school was, because like I said, I dropped out in sophomore year. I played freshman for the freshman team and sat bench for JV. And I even had a meeting with my coach and everything one day with my foster dad, Lyle. After practice, they brought me into the utility room. Like, come here for a second. Go into the utility room, and they're like, look, we know you're having a problem with these two classes. If you just get these grades right, and this is right hand to God, like, can't lie on this story. Mr. Peterson, teacher back from South, and I forgot who, Schultz was the coach, for varsity coach, and then my foster dad, Lyle, brought me in after practice into the utility room. Was like, listen, if you get these two grades right, you keep performing the way that you are, keep looking the way that you're looking, we're going to have you play with JV. That's why I got to sit the bench for JV for a little bit. And then I just kept getting in trouble, didn't get my grades right. Didn't care about anything besides the trouble that I was getting into, and I stopped playing basketball competitively.
So after, like, you started getting in trouble, like, did you start facing judgment? Did people start treating you different?
It just depends. Yeah, I mean,
did that affect you, how you looked at the world?
I just didn't care. I really didn't care how anybody looked at me. I chose my friend. I chose who I wanted to hang around with. I chose my circle. I didn't care what anybody said about it or anything. Like, the group of friends I chose to hang around was people that I considered family. Like, and I still even consider them brothers to this day. You know what I mean? So I really didn't care what anybody said about it. Like, I was just too stuck in my own ways.
Everybody has those type of days, or what we call it, a phase. You know, what made you realize that either you grew out of it or you had to grow out of it?
Like what you mean?
Like, did you ever think about it that was an issue, or become an issue?
Like, what part though? Becoming an issue?
Just being, like, not caring.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that. I don't remember when around the time that it is, but I'll tell you for sure. Like, going to jail as many times that I did, I realized fast that I had to get out of the mindset that I was in. Like, you can't just hate the world. You can't just, like, expect somebody to come save you, or
ain't no one gonna pull you out that hole. Like, you know what I mean? Either dig yourself out or shit.
Or suffer. You know what I mean? So, like, I had to realize for real, like, look, all the pain, all the trauma, all the stuff that I'm going through, like, there's no pity party. Nothing's gonna change unless I change it. You know what I mean? So I just really had to put all that bullshit behind me. I had to, like, really just settle in and be like, you know what? I gotta get out of foster care. I gotta grow into being a man. I gotta get a job. I gotta, because I didn't have no kids there. Like, I got as many kids as I do, but I didn't then. But I was still just thinking about trying to make money. How I'm gonna, like, be a man, take care of my family. And then I quickly realized, like, life just ain't what the hell you know what I mean? What you think that it's gonna be as you're growing up. Like,
there's this one song in Spanish called "Los Caminos de la Vida." It's just like the path of life. Like, the path of life. Just basically, summary is just telling you, like, it's not what they told you it was gonna be, and it's the complete opposite. And, like, you either gotta go with the flow or you're gonna drown.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like,
that's exactly what it is.
And life ain't getting any better right now.
There's no handbook to this.
Hell no.
You know, like, especially coming from, like, I don't even want to say poverty, but, like, coming from broken homes, or coming from, like, one parent homes, or any child that comes from like trauma. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you aren't taught certain things, and this is
No,
another
for sure.
conversation I have with people too about like the situations that I had to go through as a young adult, like some of my trials, like some of the trouble I got into, or like child support court and all that stuff. I repeatedly told some of the people that I was dealing with, like, man, I never was taught how to go through this. You know what I mean? Like, even being a father, I was never taught how to be a father. But what made me want to be the best father is that, like, I knew I never wanted to be like the person that wasn't there.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I already knew that number one, I have to be there.
Yeah.
I have to be there. And then number two, that man that came into my life around the time that he did and then started showing me how to be a young man, like
Show you the
he
principles and morals,
showed me how to because that man he wasn't my father.
Yeah.
He's not none of my brothers and sisters' father
Yeah.
at all. But he treated every single one of us like we were his
Yeah.
blood, and then showed us how to carry ourselves like a man or carry ourselves like a woman, and then take care of our families. And that conversation what I just had with him on the phone about 2-3 hours ago, I just was thanking him again, years later, 20 some years later, that like, man, I thank you for that because I raise my family right now off the same morals and principles that you taught.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Were you a good person growing up?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've done some bad things,
Yeah.
but I can definitely say I was a good person. I've always had a good heart, meant well.
Right.
Definitely a good person.
Did it follow you? Like the bad stuff? You know, like what did they say? Karma?
Yeah, like not getting into it too deeply, but I believe in energy, and I do believe in. I don't know if I believe in karma. I believe in. I guess if this is what karma means, what goes around comes around.
Basically, you reap.
If that's how.
What's the main thing? You reap what you sow.
Yeah, I don't like superstitions.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like crossing the.
But
the other one I do believe in is crossing the pole. That's the only one I really do believe in. I ain't gonna lie to you.
See, but like but why? Because what happens if you cross the pole?
Roll their ankles. Shit, and I'm gonna lie. Every time it did happen, I want to say like 3 out of the maybe 100. Motherfuckers, they get fucked up.
So you believe in that if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back thing?
I don't believe in that one.
Okay.
But like, I mean, everybody chooses.
Or do you believe in that if you see a black cat, that's bad luck?
Hell no, I see that's good luck. On the anti-superstition.
So there's certain things that you believe in, certain things that you don't.
Oh yeah, just like
I can't do superstitions, bro, because it's like. But I do believe in energy. Because what was the original question? Something just made us talk about that part. I forgot. But I do believe in energy.
Were you a good person? Were you growing up a good
Did it
person?
follow me?
And what did bad decisions follow you in life?
Something made us say that specific part. I forgot, but being a good person, yeah, it'll come back.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
What helped mold you into the man you're becoming into?
What helped mold me into the man that I'm becoming today?
Yep.
My mistakes, like everything that I've been explaining so far in this interview is exactly what directed me, what has motivated me to be a better person, better human, better father, make better choices. I had to learn a lot of stuff that I had no desire of learning at a very young age. That comes like, as far as like death and like addiction, foster care, facing death myself multiple times, jail, just so much. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. Going back, rewind a little bit.
Said going back to rewind a little bit. I know where you going with this. Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Back to the superstition, actually.
Yeah.
So you know when people always say, you know, like, do you believe in God, or like, do you believe in aliens? You know, like, what's the difference between believing in superstition? What's the difference between believing in aliens or God or just something greater than something?
Well, it's all opinionated. You know what I mean? Like, it's just good conversation. Because everyone's going to believe in whatever they want to believe in. You know what I mean? So it's just how long you want to sit there and argue with people about whatever it is they believe in. Like, honestly speaking, because those are conversations I love. I love sitting there and debating if aliens are real or if
Do you
UFOs.
think they're real?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Do you
they're
think
real.
they're in this world already as it is?
Yeah. What do you mean as is?
Like
in their
living?
form?
Yeah, like
I don't know. I can't, like, I'm not going to sit here and make myself look crazy in front of all the people that are going to watch this, because some people are like, bro, this nigga's stupid as hell. But I do believe that aliens are real. I can't tell you if they are actively living on our planet or if they come or if they go. But a lot of the stuff that I watch and that I leads to that, like, maybe they have something going on in the Grand Canyon, maybe they have something going on in Antarctica, or maybe they have something going on in the ocean. So I do believe in aliens, I believe in UFOs, I believe that there is life on other planets. There's more than just us, humans, and animals. That's all I'm saying. I believe in that shit. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when they're going to finally reveal it, or when we're going to finally find out if it's true or how it's true or whatnot, but it's true.
yeah, we're in one galaxy. Imagine how many galaxies there really is.
Yeah, and remember I told you YouTube is one of my favorite apps. I was just on YouTube maybe last night or the night before. This is what I do every night before I go to sleep. I get on YouTube and just Google the first thing that comes to my mind. I was looking up the Big Bang Theory and just trying to, like, get a clear explanation of what the Big Bang Theory is or where the universe even, like, and them explaining that shit was the most foreign shit ever. I was so lost. I literally fell asleep watching it because I'm just like, the way they explain it, there's just no way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
the Earth, outer space, all this other, no, stop.
So you make music, right? So what, like, some people would make music and just, you know, and just have a book. But you actually, like, poured time, money, sweat, blood, tears, and, you know, what made you keep going? You know, like, what made you just keep going with the flow and actually becoming an artist?
It just was real for me. Like, it was my outlet. It was my diary. And then having people relate to it and give me the love that they were giving me, it was just all the motivation I needed to, like, to do it and to actually have the confidence to keep doing it. And then doing my first show ever was another reason why I kept doing it. Because, like, shout out to D. He was one of my first shows was at Rewind here in Sheboygan. And even though my quality wasn't all the way there, like, I was recording on my own, my music was real. I had fire beats, and I had the blessings of, like, a radio shouting me out, D getting me in Rewind. Like, that first night was just lined up perfectly for me to put my talent out in front of everybody. Knows Rewind is, like, one of the most lit places, and then at this time it was just really lit. Like, and I think it happened to be like New Year's or something too. Right. So it was just a really big opportunity for me. And other than my following on SoundCloud as well, that reception that I got that night at Rewind was so big that that was all the motivation I needed to be like, yeah, I can definitely do this music stuff.
Was there any point in life, up to date, that you wanted to give up at all?
On music?
Yeah.
I'm already done with the music.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get this question all the time. Just had somebody ask me the other day. Like, it happens all the time. But two people, and I'm actually going to shout them out right now. Whether they watch this, I'm going to make sure that they see this. But two people conversations stick out to me the most. Number one is Ocho. He's the first person who had a conversation with me about a month or two ago. Maybe 3 months ago at Rewind. I was drunk, he was drunk, but there was actually some real stuff happening right in front of us. And after everything that was happening, he pulled me to the side. We ignored what was going on, even though we should have been, like, participating in the, for real.
Right, no,
like,
I hear you.
And I remember this so vividly. And he pulled me to the side and he said, bro, why'd you ever stop making music?
Right.
Like, you had that shit. You were him. Like, and Ocho, correct me if I'm wrong, but he just kept saying that over and over again. And like I said, I've had that conversation so many times, and I just remember kept telling him, like, bro, I don't know. I didn't even have an answer. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. And just recently, Ashton Raptor, might be his last name, might not be his last name, but it's a young guy from here in Sheboygan who raps too, makes music. I know his family, I know his cousins, whoever they are. I just know him from whatever. He makes music, and I'm on Snapchat watching people's stories. I see he posted his music lately, and I swiped up one day, and I'm like, bro, like, you're dope. Mm-hmm. And I respect anybody in Sheboygan who does that type of stuff, so I give them their flowers, and I'm like, keep going. Don't ever not do it. And he responded with these last couple of days. We've been conversating back and forth, and he's just telling me, like, bro, I only started rapping because of you and Milton. Like, y'all, he was like, he kept repeating, like, I hate that you guys never made it big because, like, y'all never got the recognition you deserve. You know, he just a real fan.
No,
like,
for sure.
Can put on old music and rap it word for word, and you know, and I'm just like, wow. And then he just kept telling me, like, bro, you need to get back to it. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't. There's no reason why, you know. And it's something that I've always told myself. It's something that I already know. Like, even if I don't want to be a big artist and I just want to do it for the love, just do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I just haven't been doing it. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you why, bro. I haven't even tried to write a song. I haven't put out a song. But it also comes with that territory. Another answer that I can give you is, like, it comes with that territory that I don't want to fall into that category where people will be like, oh, another local rapper, or he's still trying it, or he's 30-some years old, and why are you still putting, you know what I mean? Because, like, we were just having this conversation, me, you, and Ray. If you don't have the cosign already or a big-ass buzz already, it's too late. That's how I feel, respectfully. Or you got to have a fucking hit, good-ass video, and that shit's got to blow up overnight or within a week. But if you're just my age and you're trying to come out the woodwork and revive your music career, it's just not going to happen the way you want it to.
Yeah, that's why, like, I'm not saying no one has potential. Like, everybody has potential. Everybody, you know. Like, everybody should have the backup plan, you know. Like, you can't rely on something. I'm not saying you can't rely on a dream, but, like, at the end of the day, you can't rely on a dream. You got to believe. You got to do something that's believable and you can do every single day that brings in income, you know.
Respectfully, though, because I know there are some people who will watch this and be like, just because it didn't work for you, or you gave up, or just because you don't even make music, how could you make that? You know, I want them to understand that, like, if you want to make music, or if you feel in your soul that it's going to work for you, put your all into it.
Oh, for sure.
But you have to understand that when I mean put your all into it, it's going to come down to you got to sacrifice. If you have kids, number one, you're sacrificing all the time with your kids. You got to get on the road. You got to have money. You got to have a team. And then you're going to deal with so many bumps within all those things I just named that, like, it's going to really test if you're built for it.
Right.
And if I'm being honest with you, at the age that I'm at right now, looking back and dealing with a lot of things that I dealt with, and I wasn't even big. I really wasn't. Like, in my city, I was big. Right. Maybe some surrounding cities, I was big, but I wasn't as big as maybe some artists in their head think that they are.
Right.
But, like, the truth of the matter is like, you gotta. There's just so much that comes with this that you're just not ready for. I had to look back, and I wasn't ready for that shit.
I know. I want to. A upcoming artist, Trey Lavish. In my opinion, he's one of the only ones that I heard and seen in a long time that promote themselves very well, nicely. Like, you know,
I agree.
Like, there's the way he does with the social media, the way he actually interacts with everybody, you know, like all that stuff like that, and then just the fact that he goes
over and beyond to interact with his fans and put the content out.
Exactly.
I 110%.
And that's when you're saying, like, you got to put in your all. You know,
yeah. Like he chose that. He already made that conscious decision. Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
he's got, if I'm not mistaken, he's got his mother behind him. He's got a small team behind him, a cameraman. He's got his homie with him.
He needs.
What's his homie's name? Kirby, right? What's his artist name? Da Vinci. He's got Da Vinci with him. Those two together are like Shaq and Kobe, like that ass, like, And I know this might be surprising to other people. I don't know if you've been tapped in with any of their music
No,
they
I
have
have.
together, but
Yep.
man, like those two. And I've never even. Maybe I've had a conversation with KJ here before, and I've had conversations with Trey as well. But like, bro, them young cats got. I ain't
Yep,
gonna say potential.
They can make it.
They're gonna make it if
yeah.
they continue to be as consistent as they are right now.
For sure. For sure. I noticed on the album Unforgettable, and I'm not sure if it's the GTST Part 2, but if I'm not mistaken, you were sounding a little like 50 Cent. Can you tell us a little about that?
This is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, this is crazy. Cause I ain't thinking everybody ever. The fact that you know that album name and then that song name and then wow, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. But yeah, I had my jaw wired shut at that time when I made that song. Bro, George,
¿Qué pasó?
man, George plays this song. Meal Ticket, man. Shout out to bro. Like I just rode with him 2-3 days ago to open gym to Green Bay. If you know, you know. That's about an hour drive from Sheboygan. That man played that song about 4 or 5 times on the road. Every time I'm in the car with him, he plays that shit like 3 times. Like, long story short, my jaw was wired shut for about 3 or 4 months, and that was the only song that I recorded while my jaw was wired shut. And that's probably one of my most like heartfelt, meaningful songs that I've ever made to this day.
What happened?
I got into an altercation with somebody at the YMCA. Like, it was just some like, it had to do with basketball.
Some hot shit.
Yeah, like just being young. The cat that I got into it with was arguing with somebody else. He was mad at everybody in the gym, honestly. Like, saying what he said. If you know, you know. Shout out to bro. Shout out to Arizona, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm too player to not keep it all the way funky. You know what I'm saying? So, cause I know bro to this day. Like we still locked in. You know what I mean? And like he was getting into it with somebody. I was on the person's team that he was getting into it with. It was just some heated basketball stuff, and then he ended up saying like, man, everybody in here, this, that, and the third. Get it, me being young and egotistical and stuff. I'm like, bro,
Pride.
I'm like, you keep saying everybody else, like, but then he told me right out the gate, like, no, Melo, I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking about you. Bro. So whatever, I turn around, he get to doing it again, then whatever, so I turn around. When I turn around and shit, he just, I must have said something to him that rubbed him the wrong way. He ended up coming back to me, retaliating, threw a punch. And the whole time, I didn't even know that my jaw was broken. Like, because he only punched me, like, one time, if I'm not mistaken, right? You were there. Punched me one time. And it just became a scuffle, like a big shoving match, a big altercation in the middle of the gym. I'm outside of the YMCA, just, like, really looking, seeing what's going on, just hanging out and shit. And somebody told me, like, bro, your jaw, like, ooh, they gave me that look, like, damn! What you mean? I'm like, nothing wrong. And I look in the mirror, bro, my whole face had, like, a whole, like, thing right here. And I just knew something was wrong. I never dealt with that a day in my life. But I didn't feel it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I went to the hospital. Fast forward, had a broken jaw. Had to get rushed to the hospital in Milwaukee, emergency surgery. And my shit was wired shut for, like, 4 months. Yeah, definitely one of the hardest things I ever had to go through in my life. Bro. Yeah. Because it was in the summertime. It was like I got a summer birthday. My birthday's July, and that's when Summerfest was going on, and like Brat Days and all this other stuff. And I'm going to all these places. My mouth is wired shut. I mean, I had a screw here, here, and here, and then here, here, and here, and then there's a wire connecting all my screws, and I couldn't open my mouth for 4 months. So that means I can't eat physical food. I can't. Everything that I'm doing, my go-to thing while that was going on was I was going to Culver's and getting like chili or soups, taking them home, blending them, like liquefying them, putting them in a cup and just drinking them. And then I remember, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, this is another funny story. Like, it was my birthday, we're at Summerfest, and I wanted to eat some fucking steak or something, and I'm taking steak and just rubbing it on my gums and shit, just trying to get flavor or anything. Bro, pizza, pepperoni, anything I can to get flavor, bro. Like, it was the hardest thing I ever went through. I got super skinny. Just, it was bad, bro.
Can you tell us somewhat of the story behind No Competition? Your second verse into it, we did a robbery.
Hold your guns up if you ain't worried about nobody, nigga. You ain't killed nobody. All that capping like you bought it. Police pick me up, I'm solid. You the type to call for mommy when we went and did that robbery. I'm the one who kept it solid.
I know what you're talking about. You talking about the one of the cases that I caught when I was younger, right? In the robbery that happened, yeah. And I said something about when we did that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So what's the question again?
What was it like?
What was it about?
Yeah.
So like it wasn't the first charge that I had, but one of the first serious adult charges I had here in Sheboygan was an armed robbery with a couple other charges, but that was my biggest charge.
Right.
And the case that I had caught was with like two of the people that I grew up with at the time. And like the fucked up situation about it is the robbery that happened, like, didn't happen. I didn't have anything to do with it. Like, I didn't do the robbery.
Right.
But when the people who did the robbery got caught, they blamed it all on me. And then with me being the age that I was, I think I was 17 or 18 at the time. I was the oldest one in the situation. So I got charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, 2 counts, which means I didn't even know what that shit meant. Do you know what that means?
Like you're basically like giving them, like putting them in trouble and like they're gonna commit crimes.
So, like I said, that was my first time ever hearing of some shit like that. And they're both felonies. 2 counts. So that's 2 more felonies on top of felonies I was already facing.
Wow.
And I was wondering what that meant. And when they explained it to me, this is exactly what the judge told me. Because I asked in court, I said, what does that even mean? And he was like, that means you are 18 years old, you're technically an adult, and you had 2 juveniles with you who were about to commit a crime, and you had the power to tell them not to do it, and you did. And they did. Now you contributed to the delinquency of a minor. And that's, you know what I mean? So in that song, that's basically what I was talking about. Like, the case that I had caught, both of the people, my co-defendants, were like 2 of my close friends at the time. And after what had happened, the robbery that had happened, like I said, the robbery I didn't commit the robbery. But yes, after the robbery happened, we all left. We went to my house. We're smoking. We're chilling. We're hanging out. But then when we're all hanging out, they leave my house. I had my girlfriend at the time take them home. Mm-hmm. They get a block away from my house because the police were already staking my house out, which I didn't know at the time. But like, as soon as they leave from my house, police pull over the car. They get out of the car, leave everything in the car. So the police were almost going to charge my girlfriend at the time with these crimes because she wouldn't even say, she stuck to the code. She didn't say nothing that she wasn't supposed to say. And they ended up coming to get me too and raided my house and told me like, hey, like I remember I went to jail. No, I went to the police department. They didn't have any charges on me, didn't find anything in my house. But they told me like, hey, if we find out or we hear anything else, because I was the only one that was caught first, you know what I mean? They ran, like I just said, and left everything in the car. When I went to jail, they told me like, we don't have anything on you. If we find out anything else, we will come back to get you. Well then, fast forward, they eventually found one of the people who actually the song was about. He told everything. Got in court, pointed the finger, said it was his idea, his guns, it was his this, that, third. And granted, the whole time wasn't, but it is what it is, man. Like I look back at that like a learning lesson, man. I was a juvenile. I was in a situation that I wasn't supposed to be in. And then another funny thing about that story, to end that story, is like the house that robbery happened in, it happened to be a Halloween party, and rest in peace to my boy Alex James Keeney, but it was his house, it was his party. So that's like a memory that's always gonna stick with me. Not only was it like my first craziest charge ever, and like I was facing 52 years in prison, like face on the newspaper, everything. But like it happened at my homie who actually passed away at his house when I was a kid. So like that's just something that will never ever leave my brain. Yeah.
Overall, the album, I ain't gonna lie, y'all had nothing but bangers. Like whether it was just your song, his song, or y'all collabing on that song. I want to say like almost all of them were like that ass fire. Like even the ones that like weren't even my style, I was still fucking with. Like someone like when they're not your style, like on the album, you'll skip them right away.
Yeah.
Like I let them play. Like they're good.
Yeah.
But they're just
Well, I think the reason why that might be that way is because the only 2 albums that I have out ever is one with George, which is Unforgettable, and then one by myself, which is called Love Files.
Yep.
And it took me. There's a reason why I only have one album out by myself, and it's called Love Files, because it took me years to make all the music that I did, and then narrow down the however many songs I have on that album to just be vulnerable enough to put those out.
Right.
So when it came down to, which George is actually the one who put this Unforgettable track list together, he did a good job of choosing, because I probably would have done I wouldn't have maybe chose as many songs as he did, but the ones he did put out there were like perfect.
Right.
Like there wasn't not one that I listened to on there and I'm like, nah, we could have left this one off there. Like we were on a run there, like a historic run where we're just, any song that we got on, we were matching each other's energy. I'm introducing him to beats he's never rapped on. He's introducing me to like stuff I would never do. Like it just worked so organically, bro. Like it was crazy, man. Like it was one of the highlights of my life, for real.
Yeah, that one most popular song from both of you, Like This.
Probably the most popular song to ever come out of your boy.
Yeah, that shit was banging. Ain't gonna lie to you.
Like This is most definitely, and that's another crazy thing. Like I'll just say this: yesterday or the day before, I just called George, the guy that was talking to me about starting music again. He's like, "Man, why'd you guys take Like This off YouTube?" I go on YouTube, look it up, it's not there. I call George, I'm like, "Why is Like This not on YouTube anymore?" The guy, shout out Moosey, man. I'm gonna actually send this interview to you and this exact part, but like, why is Like This not on YouTube anymore? Like, that's our most popular song ever. We paid for the video, we paid for the studio time, we paid for the beat. Could you please tell me why Like This isn't on YouTube? And if you could, please put it back up, or at least send it to me, man, because I think we'll never see that video again if I don't get that video from you. But thank you.
Yes, sir. And most of your songs, or not most, but like some of your songs, you talk about your kids and like, how many kids you got?
4.
4?
Yeah. 4.
4.
Yeah. I mean, 4. The reason why it's funny, bro, because like I got 4 kids that I know are mine.
Yeah.
That I take care of, that I see. Well, 3. My 4th is Ava, my oldest, that I know was like who I thought was my first kid. Well, who actually I know is my first kid, but I do have 2 other women who allege that my kids are theirs, but it's already been proven that they're not. But there's still a legal situation that I have going on that they're both actually court-ordered mine, but that's a whole nother story. So technically 6, but 4 legally.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, man.
Someone got busy.
Open book, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm like Nick Cannon for real.
What's it called? And a little dabble, little dip. 2 of them are like a month apart, right?
Yeah, my youngest 2.
How'd that go?
I mean, I made it work. Like,
let's say how it is. This guy over here with a little Putin jacuzzi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a crazy man. Like, nah, man. I'll just tell you, I'll be for real with you, man. It, like, obviously there was bad days, and then the days that the stuff that I'm going through right now, I wouldn't change it for nothing. Like, I wholeheartedly love both of the women as mothers and as women for like who they are and what they do for my kids and how they respect me. I respect them, and that's it. And it's foreign to some people. Some people that are like baffled by what I'll explain to them how my relationship is with some of my baby mamas, and I tell them all the time, like, bro, it's only foreign to you because you don't know anyone who could do this, or you don't have that relationship with your baby mama. Like, just because you can't do it doesn't mean I can't do it.
Right,
And it wasn't always like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I had as bad as before.
I had to go
the
through a lot of hurt, like, and I caused a lot of that hurt for all of them. You know what I mean? But I had to clean up my act.
You had to make amends.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, it's not about us anymore. It's about the kids, and that's what we've all been able to do. And I can't take anything from them women, and I have nothing bad to say about any of my baby mamas at all.
That's good. Do you see all your kids?
I see.
The one that are like...
Ava's the only one that I don't see right now. I don't have a relationship with Ava. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I've had a relationship with her. Her mother was like one of the first women that I was actually in a relationship with. So she kind of got like the beginning stages of like my
adolescent life.
Right? You know what I mean? Like you get what you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
So she was the first one to be like,
got the worst
I'm not dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
And she left, did her own thing, and I've been dealing with the repercussions of that ever since. Like, I haven't had a conversation with my daughter. She has me blocked. Like, I have to have some of my people send me pictures of my daughter off her social media. You know what I'm saying? But I've kind of just came to the conclusion, to the reality of like, one day me and her will have a conversation.
When she comes that age, she will be able to legally be able to contact with you, and like, God forbid nothing negative happens, but like, God willing, she's gonna know that you weren't like just absent like by choice.
Yeah.
Like, she's gonna know, like, regardless of some people consider like certain ways of trying, but it's the fact that like you can't force it because otherwise it'll make the situation worse.
Yeah.
At the same time, you got to step away. So like, as her growing up, hopefully she will understand like what the situation was and whatnot. Like, there's no right or wrong answers, but moving forward, just understand that Dad was always there. Like,
it feels good hearing somebody else say that, because that's what I've always relied on and banked on. Like, I hope that is how it goes, but like, there's no preparing for that. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Like, I've always just kind of told myself, like, one day we are going to have a conversation, and the only thing I can hope for is that she isn't resentful. But I've always told myself I'm also not going to, when we do have a conversation, I'm not going to have anything bad to say about her mother. I'm not going to try to force myself on her or do anything like that. I'm just going to let everything happen naturally. I'm going to let her pour her heart out first, because I don't know what's being said over there. I don't know what the image of me is like, because I know that the entire time that I was a part of her life, nothing bad ever happened. There was no reason why my daughter should be held from me. There's no reason why, it was all emotions. It was all because my oldest Ava and the one behind her, Eliana, are about a year and a half apart, and their mothers were both friends. So Kaylee never let go of that hurt. That, like, I slept around on her with this girl and had her, and then it was a competition after that. Like, oh, you treat this person better. No, I love all my kids the same. Yes, I've been a piece of shit, but like, you can't keep my kids from me off of your emotions.
Just because of what happened between us.
What I mean?
Like, it was a failed relationship, not a failed parentship.
Exactly.
But I mean, to teach their own. Some people, and I'm not talking down on nobody. But like, to teach their own. Some people race differently, but
some people deal with emotions differently.
Yeah. And
I'm not, like I said, I have nothing bad to say about I have nothing bad to say about Kaylee. I have nothing bad to say about Alex. I have nothing bad to say about Clay. I have nothing even bad to say about the women who alleged that I was their baby fathers, even though one of them like did the most fucked up shit. Because like to this day, I'm still dealing with some of the shit. Well, I was dealing with some of the shit that girl put on me by saying that I was her baby's father. Like all the way up until about a year ago, or a little bit less than a year ago. I'm about to be 31 years old. That was my first time having a baby thrown on me that I was locked up, and all of a sudden I get out of jail, and all of a sudden there's paperwork saying I'm this baby's father, and the reason why is because I never showed up for a DNA test. What kind of shit is that? Because I didn't show up to court, which while I'm locked up, they're supposed to take me to court.
Right.
But because I didn't show up to court, that means I'm automatically determined father.
So they had you pay child support for, basically?
Yeah, I was paying child support for like, I don't know how old their child is, because that's another thing. Like, I've never even
had contact with her,
had
really?
contact with her child. Like, never, nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't know how old her child is off the top of my head, but I've been paying child support until about a few months ago. I'd say her child's like 10 or 11, somewhere around there. All those 10 or 11 years, I was paying child support. And the only time I wasn't is when I was like having a warrant out for my arrest, and I was running, and I was specifically wasn't paying that shit, because I'm like, I was rebellious for a while for that shit.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not paying.
I'm not paying for something that's like for someone that's not mine.
Exactly. But then I went to jail, and I had to bail out, and they were like, they made it mandatory. Like, you're either paying this shit or you're going to go to jail every time. Yeah. So I started paying it. And then, but finally, my caseworker, like, to sum that whole story up, my caseworker finally started listening to my story. And then she looked into it, and she was just like, no, like, we're not going to make this guy pay child support for, and we've never, she just wiped it all. I had to pay one more last thing to the state for her children being in foster care or whatever it was. I owed to the state because the father's like legally obligated to pay like certain stuff like that. I paid that last little bit of stuff off, and my caseworker told me just about a month ago, you're completely done, Thomas. You don't have to, you don't owe us nothing, no more for this child. And I've never been on child support for any of my kids that I take care of and see. Not Eliana, not Tavion, not Leilani. Never. I was always on child support. Fucking that
one that you never seen. They got to spend time with that's allegedly yours. I mean, if it's yours, then why weren't you?
If it was mine, we all know. If you know, it's one of those. I say this a lot. If you know, you know. If that baby was mine, everyone knows that baby would have been a part of my life and all the his siblings' life.
For sure. For sure. They're always, yeah, for sure. So I see, like, back where how you started in the beginning, how you said giving back to the community and whatnot. I see that you do like to give back to the community as much as you can. What makes you do it?
I just told these kids that I just did that lawn care flyer for. I told them, like, man, I wish I had somebody when I was your guys' age to push me to do, you know what I mean? Like anything that I might have had an idea for, or I was even showing interest in. I wish there was cats that were like older and were motivated to show us how to execute, you know what I mean?
Right.
And do some of those things. I just didn't have that. Like, and another thing is, like, if I wasn't here today, I wish there were people in my community or even some of my homies that could tap in with my kids or nieces, nephews, or whatever, and show them the way. No matter what it is, show them how to get some money, like, tell them stay in school, whatever it is, like, just do the right thing. And I never had it. I was never surrounded by it. I told myself it's almost like the same thing as being a father. Like, I knew what I didn't have, and I knew what I needed to be. I know I didn't have the guidance, so I knew that Sheboygan needed it, and that's just what I want to do. It's like, I feel it in my heart, just who I am.
For sure. Fuck with that. If you could, would you keep doing it?
Yeah, I won't, man, listen. I hear a lot of people talk about how they want to get out of Sheboygan, they want to move here, they want to move there. I don't have any plan. Like, maybe, yeah, it would be cool to have a lot of money, have a vacation home somewhere else, or take vacations, do whatever. But I'm not running from Sheboygan. I'm not leaving Sheboygan. I want my kids to go to school here, high school. I want them to dominate in their sports. And, like, we go to North-South games, and you hear the Kramer last name. Like, being a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm a what's the word, foreshadower.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who likes to plan and like make a plan, execute that plan, see it happen, and then be like, yes, that's what the plan was.
Right.
And my plan is to stay right here, raise my family, raise all my kids together, even if we're not in the same homes or whatnot. Like when they get together, we know we're family. When we get to school, when we get to sports, we know it's business, and we're gonna be something. Like I teach my kids, like you can really change your family's life if you're locked in school and choose a sport that you want to do, and
Right.
you get really good at that stuff. You can change your family right here in Sheboygan.
What other possible things would you possibly think that you could give back to the community?
My biggest thing that I'm trying to do right now is work with the youth. I want to continue to, like, I'm doing the coaching stuff. I'm doing the like small things when I see kids, and I'm doing mentorship and all that other stuff. But like, I actually want to do something bigger with my foundation, my LLC that I have called Dreams Work, and I want to maybe have like my actual own mentorship program where like I can work with kids, take them around, and do small different things and connect them with different parts of the community, get all these small businesses connected and do like,
I was in a group like that.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because like,
Courtney Gallen.
yeah, David Benton.
Hey, not lie. I'm not saying I was the worst kid, or I wasn't saying like I was a badass kid, but I was a badass kid. Like I used to always just get in trouble. Like damage to property and just battery charges. That's what my main thing was. He really did help me. Like I didn't really have a father figure. Like nor my uncles. Like one of my uncles was just busy with his family. The other was in prison. My grandpa was busy, but like my grandpa really, from Corny and like my grandpa, like they helped me throughout my whole life. Or like Corny, he met me, I was in 7th grade. So like Corny met from there, he helped me a lot. So like shout out to him. But like it's crazy how like mentoring a younger child can come a long way.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Because I'm not saying you mentoring every single kid's gonna be great. No, like some is still gonna say, one is gonna say, "Hey, you, fuck you, you ain't gonna tell me shit." The other one is say, and then the other one was like, "All right, thank you, I appreciate it." Like it's gonna learn from you. Like you're gonna have every single person. So it's like when you do go to that route, don't get discouraged when when someone or all of them aren't listening. Like because you're not gonna get every single good kid that's gonna actually want to change for the better. They're just gonna like, I'm just here because either court ordered or I'm just here.
Yeah.
So it's, but
it takes time, man. Like not everybody. Like I explained at the beginning of this interview, like how I look back at some of the things that I went through, and I almost like I didn't want to say I was regretful, but I was just like I missed opportunities. Yeah. Right. Some of these kids might get the opportunity to have a mentor in front of their face and vocalize how to make right decisions and steer away from bad decisions, but it's like it's up to that kid initially. You know what I mean? Like
basically,
it's if you want to or if you don't want to.
Do you believe in the saying people do change?
Yeah, for sure. I never heard that saying specifically.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like when they say nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
So that being said, like, do you believe that people can change?
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm one of those people that change. Like, it just depends on how much you mean it. You know what I mean? Like, some people say they're gonna change and act like they're changing, and they don't at all. Only you know. You know what I mean? Like, only you know. Because a lot of people can get on social media, can tell somebody that they changed in front like they changed, and they didn't at all. But like, only you and whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in know. So you just don't lie to yourself. If you want to change, just change.
Everyone has a purpose. What do you feel like yours is?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I know I just said that at the beginning of this interview too, bro, and I actually said that in one of my songs, like how that's what I'm searching for right now.
You're just trying, and that's why, like, you said like you like to do everything. Like I'm kind of like the same way. Like I like to do everything, and I like to interact and communicate with the whole community and just everybody in this general. Because like whether I don't know what my purpose is right now, I just know I got multiple outlets on what to choose from that could be what is meant for me.
Yeah,
You know,
I respect that so
like
much.
some people is like I don't know what my purpose is. I'm not gonna know. It's like well,
You're not trying to find something.
exactly. Like you're just either just plain view, just don't give a fuck, or plain view, just you're not unmotivated. You just don't know where to start, and that's where a lot of people, they found difficulty in because like they never got taught that way,
Yeah.
anything like that. But like that being said, it's like I feel just keep doing what you're doing and just keep moving forward. And if it's something positive, go with the flow.
Yeah, bro. I that's how I've always looked at things, especially lately. Like I was in a dark place for a long time where I didn't know what I wanted to do, what my purpose was, or whatnot. But like I just told myself, like, man, look, if I don't got nothing stopping me, and there's some other people out here who have it worse than me, and they can make it work, why can't I make it work? And then the kids is all the motivation that you need. Like that's all that you need to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna make sure it's better than yesterday was.
Right. When leaving a legacy behind, what would you like yours to be?
My kids are my legacy, and that's why I joke about it all the time. I said something about me and Nick Cannon, but like I'll make the joke, man. Like yes, I have a lot of kids. I have different baby mothers, but my kids mean
The world.
everything to me.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like I would not be who I am today. I wouldn't even have motivation to. I just been through so much. I've battled a lot of dark thoughts, emotions my entire life. I come from that like traumatic past where that's how my family thinks. But moving forward, man, I want to show my family that like my kids, even my brothers, sisters, they're raising their own kids, my nieces and nephews. I'm trying to show them like it doesn't matter what we came from, it doesn't matter what we've seen, what we've experienced, how bad we had it. Number one, there are people who have it worse, but that's not what we're glorifying. But it's like you can make it through anything, but you just actually have to look yourself in the mirror and not lie to yourself, like I just said before, but like put the work in.
Oh, for sure.
You have to put the work in.
Don't use it as an excuse. Use it as motivation.
Yes, no, everything you've been through. Because if you take one thought and you dwell on it for too long, you can block your blessings from
Kiss it goodbye.
any type of motivation that you need for just to execute on one idea. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm still learning. Everything's not perfect. Everything's
yeah.
not gravy right now. But like, man, that's just one thing that I always keep in mind is family, bro. Like, I just want to do this for my family. I want to be
Right.
successful for my family.
I don't know if you ever heard the saying, like, because like you say, you start learning, like doesn't matter the age. That one saying is, an old dog can always learn new tricks. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always learn a better way to be a better person.
Yeah.
You can always be better than the day before.
Yeah.
And just reflect on anything negative that you did or went wrong that day. Reflect on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna go fucking A1. Like fly.
Trial and error.
And like one thing I always love to do. I learned in therapy was like you write down your bad note, like what's going on, like where like your negative thought, whatever the fuck is in your head right now. Write it down, read it. After that, like once you finally like look at it, it's like I'm really tripping over that, shit like that. Like
Yeah.
either one, like is that stupid that you're tripping on that, or like two, you can't control it. So why are you tripping on that?
Yeah.
So therefore, once you're done, once you came to that realization, grab that piece of paper and burn it. And for me, that's when I'm burning is let go out of my mental space. That's one less mental note that's not weighing me down anymore. That's one way of me keeping accountability to myself. That all right, I burned it. I'm not gonna go back on and dwell on it.
Yeah.
And that's what people always fuck up on. They always go back and dwell on things that they couldn't change then. What makes you think you can change it now?
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Whether it's anything you can think of is meant to be. It's meant to be.
It reminds me of a saying, like I said, I don't know what everybody believes in or what they believe in, but it reminds me of a saying, let go and let God. Like, you just got to let go and just let
God,
take care
take
of
the wheel.
rest.
Let God take
Let
the
the
wheel.
universe take care of the rest, or let
That's all you
whatever's
gotta
going to
do.
be, let it happen naturally. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
I respect that 100%.
Why do you think it's considered weak for men to cry? To show emotion.
I personally don't think that, but I think the
It got
reason why the
normalized.
society thinks that is because like a man is just supposed to be strong and like there's nothing wrong with a man showing emotion.
Right.
If all honestly, from my experience, women love that more.
Oh, for sure.
When a man can show his vulnerable side, soft side, but also be a leader and like be stern and you know what I mean? Like you have to, because a lot of men who act like they don't have emotions or don't show emotions are just
They're weird.
They're running from their emotions or they're dealing with emotions that they don't even know how to like cope with or speak out loud about. So it's like, and I have nothing bad to say about those people.
And let me take that back because like, I'm not trying to say weird like that, but it's just like some people didn't grow up learning how to speak up on things.
Yeah.
And when they did, they got shut down maybe.
Yeah.
But that being said, how I backtracked again, you have to use that as motivation to not be something because of what you went through.
Yeah.
Stop letting that be an excuse on why you're failing that life, on why you're fucking up, on why you're doing this, and why you're doing that. Accountability.
Yeah. Facts.
Accountability.
All you gotta do. Change the narrative, man.
But like, was that one? I seen this one thing. It was saying basically like, women and kids are loved unconditionally, and men are only loved conditionally. You know, meaning like basically like, if a man can't provide, a man
Under
can't.
conditions.
Certain
conditions. Yeah. Like
they
he
will
has
not
to
be loved.
He's got to do certain stuff in order to be loved the correct way. I've heard that before too.
And it's fucked up, you know, like.
It's kind of true.
And it is, you know, like, because like some women would take advantage of it, and some women, you know, like there's always the good and bad in everything.
The solution to that though is just making sure that you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, finding the right one.
Because you're gonna deal with people who don't have the same morals or principles as you, but it's like it's up to you to decide who you're dealing with and who you're not dealing with. Because you can stay far away from people who don't believe in the same stuff you do.
Right.
But it's like once you establish that and you see, once somebody shows you who they are in their true colors, then take that first warning right there. Like don't give them another opportunity and hope that they change it.
Type shit.
You know what I mean?
What is a memory you still think about?
A memory that I still think about, bro. My mind does not stop going. So like I think about everything.
One memory right now, like
the first thing that came up.
Yep.
First thing that comes to my mind, a memory, is anything with music. Yeah. Honestly, like anything, because me and George talk about this all the time, bro. Like granted, like I just told you, we live next door to each other and we hoop a lot, we're on the game a lot together, and we're always ended up somehow listening to our music and like our run. That's the conversation we were just having the other day. Like, bro, our run. I mean this in the most humble and respectful way possible, bro. But like when it came to like some of the first people who were like, I'm just gonna say persons, because George wasn't even here yet. But like in Sheboygan, there were some older cats that were older than me who might have did what they did, and I found out about it later. But like when I was dropping music and doing music at my age, my grade, nobody was doing it with me. Like I had to take all the bullets at first for like being a local artist. You know what I mean? Like people were either talking shit or like saying whatever they said, but I was cool with it because it's just what I love to do. I seen a future in it. This whatever the reason was, I kept doing it. But like that's just a memory that I always will pop in my head is the run that I had in music, bro. The feeling that I had just shooting a music video or going to a show or preparing, doing a sound check for something, or just even having somebody come up to you and like, you know, we used to do merch out here. We used to meet up with kids who were fans, do meet and greets, and just all types of crazy stuff that even though it was local and it was only here and it's just a few surrounding cities, it felt like I was bigger than who I was. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could go back.
What have you learned from a heartbreak?
You gotta love yourself first before you ever try to love somebody else, before you ever give your all to somebody else before you ever just put all your eggs in one basket and think that's what it's going to be. You need to make sure you love yourself and that you are confident in who you are and what your future would be if it was just you on your own.
Right.
Because, like, how can you plan a future with somebody for the rest of your life, and then what if it doesn't work out? Then what are you going to do? You didn't even plan for anything else. Like you were saying earlier, like you got to have a plan B, you know what I mean? But your plan A should already be love yourself, and if this person wasn't here, how would you be going through your everyday life?
Shit, prime example.
Yeah, prime example. I love that. Crazy.
Do you ever think you will get married?
I used to. My answer changes like every month, bro. But ultimately, bro, I do want to get married because that's a whole nother level of like love and like just whatever. I do want to. I never wanted to, simply because I just seen too many of those stories, you know what I mean, where it just doesn't turn out to be what it's supposed to be. But it's not even like, but even in my family, you know what I mean, like shit that hit home, and I was just like, damn, even to this day, like seeing them, that aunt and uncle show up to a family event, but they're not who they were when I was a kid. It still feels a little weird sometimes, so I always have to take into consideration, like, damn, would I be ready for something like that? Because I foreshadow a lot too. I'm like, I already think about what the breakup would be like with somebody before I get married, and I don't want to go through that.
Right,
So,
I feel that.
but selfishly, man, the party part of a wedding, and because your wedding, bro, believe it or not, if people want to admit it or not, that was one of the last most epic moments in Sheboygan, bro. Like, weddings alone are great, right? But like your wedding specifically, and the group of friends that we all have. And I don't mean to make
everybody just got like everybody came together and got along. Perfect.
Everybody got fly, had a good time, no drama, bro.
Nothing.
Just great, yeah, bro. It was a great time, bro. Like, it was a great time. I still look at some of those memories today. Great time.
Wow. Anyways,
I didn't mean to make it hard for you, brother.
Nah, hey.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Oh, my mama.
I love it.
What was your name before Melo? Like, wasn't it something like, but like with like Royal, like Royal, like something like that, right?
Hey, where you? Nah, I just told you before this interview too, bro, how you was sounding so much more confident and shit. But like, where did you ever watch Nardwart? And people be having crazy questions. People be like, how do you know this?
That's what
how
I'm trying to do.
How the fuck?
Little homework.
Hey, Ray. Do you know what the answer is?
I was trying to think of it. It's I thought it was like
Royalty.
Royalty.
Royalty. How do you know that? No, deadass. How do you know that? Because I don't think we was cool. Like, I'm not saying not cool, but like we didn't know each other then.
I didn't meet you till I want to say right before my freshman year. So,
I don't even remember the first time I met you.
It was at Sheridan Park. I was young.
That makes sense.
I was a little fucking
that makes
gremlin.
sense. That makes sense.
Hey, chill, bro.
But like, the reason why that's so crazy is because after everything that we just talked about in this interview, like my run with George, Royalty was like when I met Andy and shit.
Yeah.
Like my freshman, that was like my first rap name ever. So you just listen to me tell that whole story about Jake Knuth and Andy. The whole time you knew what my rap name was at that time. It's crazy, bro. Yeah. What was your question? Like, how did that come about?
Like, yeah,
Wow.
What made that being said, like that was her name.
Yeah.
What made you change it to Melo?
Well, Melo was a name that I like gave myself. And then like some of my the people that I was hanging around was just like family to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody kind of already had their own like little nickname. Nobody ever went by their real name or like nothing like that. And when I started rapping and stuff, first of all, Royalty was my first rap name, but they just wasn't like, that's corny as shit. You know what I mean? Like, some people actually to this day still think that was cold, and I think it, but it wouldn't have stuck. And then at the time, like loving basketball and shit, like Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite basketball players, and then it just fit me too as well. Like I like the fact that it fit me because I was a chill person. Like I'm real conservative. I'm laid back. Like it just fit me. And then all of my closest friends just kept calling me Melo. And then from I think it was from Royalty, it went to That Boy Melo. And then I started that whole wave with the That Boy, and then everyone was changing their name to whatever it was. And then I went from That Boy Melo to Melo Baby. And then the reason why I did that is because like Lil Baby and Weezy F Baby and all my favorite artists just had Baby in their name somewhere. So that just, and it was always something that I was saying in my songs like Melo, Baby. It just fit perfectly. And then recently I just kind of changed my whole revising my brand and whatnot. Like I started doing the basketball stuff on YouTube and started doing like YouTube vlogs and stuff. I changed it to I Know Melo. So
Speaking of YouTube and blogs and all that, I know you were doing those mic'd up clips.
Yep.
What made you start them, and what made you stop?
Well, what made me start it for sure is like I watch like comes back to YouTube. I watch YouTube all day, every day, anything, everything, and I watch a lot of YouTubers that make their content creation videos, and being in the Flawless League and just kind of having an eye and an ear for content creation alone, I was just like, wow, this is something I can do. So I just one day happened to be on Marketplace, found some mics that clip onto your shirt or whatever, and I seen them for a cheap price, picked them up, took them to the gym one day, mic'd myself up, and like my very first video that I posted on YouTube had like over 9,000 views. It was just a short, and I was like, whoa. And then it just gave me this idea. I'm like, man, like nobody does that here around us. The league is competitive. I'm cool with everybody. I know everybody, so I can literally go up to anybody and ask them. And that's what happened. And like, and then other than that, like I happened to be put into some situations where like I got dope footage for being so new into it. Like when I started doing it, one of my first videos, like those first videos went viral, and then I had the ideas of like miking up Sam Decker's brother, John Decker, and then like Steve Strong, one of the best hoopers in Sheboygan. Like I had him and Malik and George, and then I actually had the opportunity to go to Trey Jefferson, one of his basketball competitions or whatever, like a one-on-one thing in Milwaukee, and then I met him, had a conversation with him. He let me mic him up. Like it was just going so well. The momentum started really well off that first video, and it just felt organic. It felt real. I didn't have to invest it other than just getting those mics and then editing my footage after, which was the hardest thing about all of it. But it felt good. And then the reason why it stopped, because that's what you asked too, right? Why it stopped is like I was doing it for the Flawless League, and my second or third video that I put out like had a lot of traction as well. Like some of the people that played in the league and that worked for Flawless League ended up seeing it, and there was like some cussing and stuff that was going on in the video, and it just like they felt like it didn't represent their brand or what they were standing for or whatnot. And the way they went about it was like sending like a letter to all the captains and kind of saying like exactly what I did and like the cussing in my video, because I was the only one doing videos, you know, and like they put out this letter and kind of like warned everyone like, hey, those videos need to be taken down or repercussions or whatnot. And I just was rubbed the wrong way, because I'm like, first of all, the owner of the league, like me and you are good friends, so like we could have had a conversation about that. You know what I mean? Like why go to everyone else but not to the person who did exactly what this letter is about? So fast forward, like, you know, I said what I said, they said what they said, mixed emotions. Me and Cedric finally had a conversation though, where he just basically told me like, man, I have no problem with you recording. Like, I actually think it's dope, you know what I mean? And he's like, go ahead, keep doing it. But this is something that I'm not blaming him. But like, I already was defeated at that point. Like, my momentum was
Gone.
You know what I mean? Gone. Like, I'm just like,
y'all shot me down when I was right at my highest.
yeah, like I was, and I'm not even trying to blame,
No, for sure.
you know, but like, I'm not blaming anyone specifically, but it just, I'm a very
It could've
emotional
been,
person.
It could have been come out a different
Yeah,
way.
like it could have just been handled completely different.
Yeah.
I'm very emotional, so like when I went through that, it bothered me for about 2 or 3 days. Where it got so bad, where like I said, I reacted on social media. Then me and Cedric going back and forth, or I'm having to delete certain people because I'm wondering who told on me and all that. Not that there was anything bad to tell on me about, but it's just like I just was rubbed the wrong way, and it hit me really hard. And then after that, I'm just like, I don't really even like. I want to do it, but I just like I don't want no one looking at me funny. I don't want to hear anybody else say this, that, and the third. And I just, but whatever. Like, I still will do it eventually.
Right.
Like, I do have plans of doing it, but I stopped.
Feels like, what's like that one saying? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You know, like you're gonna face your flaws. You're gonna face your negative feedback. You know,
Yeah.
like, but if it's not accepted there, it'll be accepted somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or with time, they will adapt, and like I said,
That's a fact.
they adapted.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, it just gotta watch certain things, but can't throw in the towel too fast.
No, yeah. That's a thing that I'm working on too, man. Like, sometimes I just get in my feelings. I get discouraged. I let something bother me too bad, and I just,
Say,
but
fuck it.
yeah, I gotta stop doing that.
Are you still playing?
No, I'm not. Well, the season's over right now. I continued that season when all that was going on without doing the mic'd up stuff. But I think going forward this next season, I'm gonna ref.
Take a break.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
ref. Hopefully, that's my plan.
Right.
So, I still want to stay active. I still want to be a part of Flawless. I still support Flawless 110%. I still will coach for the youth like I've been doing, and I'll still participate in the league. But I think I just would rather referee because it keeps me active. I still get to be a part of the league, but it just gives me a different perspective. Like, I'm such a basketball head that, and I also feel like I'm getting old right now.
Right.
So it's like I just want to just have my hands on it somewhere, but like not
Be part of it.
you know, because
yeah.
basketball, Flawless gets gritty, man. Like, they all care about that because, you know, you can win rings, all types of cool stuff like that Cedric brought to the community.
Right.
Like, the All-Star game and all that other cool stuff, man, like, it's really dope. But, like, I just am at the age in my life where I can't take it as serious as other people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you got given an opportunity to play in the NBA, would you? Like,
Hell
yeah.
Hell yeah. I get to make the money that they make, right? Like, I'm guessing.
The first year, guaranteed?
Yes. Hell yeah. Who would?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I play in the NBA. Would you play in the NBA if you got a chance?
Fuck yeah, I'll be a brick.
Because I've never seen you hoop a day in my life.
Shit, I'll be Ray.
I'll be Ray.
1-on-1.
Catching strays,
You
man.
gotta catch my wins.
I would definitely, man. Especially if I can get that bag, because bro, they making money right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you plan on doing an event this year for the return to school for the kids?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that, especially in this format, bro, because that was about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, that we did it. Maybe 3 years ago. It could have been 3 years.
Almost 3.
It could have been, but every year I wanted to continue it, but like life happened, right?
Yeah.
You know.
You and your family come first.
Yeah, like I just was going through a lot of stuff, but in the time that's passed, I've made a lot of
More
good connections.
Yeah.
And some of them people that I was connected with, like shout out to Deandra, and she works for South. I think she's like a guidance counselor or something like that.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn Pozowitz, I forgot where exactly she works, but they're good friends, and I went to school with them. They both actually told me when you're ready to do it again, number one, we're gonna connect you with the school district. We're gonna connect you with South. We're gonna connect you with the programs that we lead with the kids who actually need this type of stuff. And because when I did it, the back to school program my first time, it was big. Like,
I seen the videos. I seen the pictures. I
Big,
seen the lines.
yes, like did it all out of pocket, did it all on my own, but it went great. But with how it went on my own, but with now some backup and like supporters and stuff,
Be better.
it's probably gonna like reach the whole city.
Right,
And that's what my goal is, man. Like that's who I am. That's what I stand for. It's what I want to do. Like I said, my brand, dreams work. Like that's all we stand for, man. We just want to give back to the community, do stuff for the kids, lead them in the right direction. If it's something that we can't do for them, we want to make sure that we connect them with who can do it for them.
Y'all hear it here first, folks.
Yes, sir.
DreamWorks is in production of something great. So
Yes, sir.
stay tuned. Y'all hear it here first. Don't say you didn't.
Facts. On the Don Vic Show.
So if y'all having troubles or just whatever, what's understood don't gotta be explained. All right.
Yeah.
If you need it, it's here.
Yeah. And don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared to reach out to some of the people in our community who you know are tapped into certain like avenues. If you have a child that wants to be a part of a certain sport, or if you have children that you need to be directed into the direction of adults who want to keep them active or keep them out of trouble. Like, don't be afraid to reach out on social media, reach out to Vic, even if you don't have my contact information, you know what I mean? Like, just contact somebody who knows someone, and we all mean the same things. Like, we all stand for the same stuff. So just keep that in mind, families, please.
Sir, do you ever plan on leaving Sheboygan after your kids turn 18?
That is a good time to say that I could see myself possibly leaving Sheboygan, because then like my kids are all grown,
you don't really have no
got
ties.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm not leaving anything behind.
Yeah.
My kids are grown, they got their own life, so I could see myself eventually leaving, but not anytime soon.
Okay. What's the most craziest moment you had up to date?
Listen.
If you got two, you can say two.
No,
if you got three, you can say three.
No, the craziest thing that ever happened to my life, I'm not going to get too deep into the story. I'm not going to tell the whole story, because I know for anybody that's watching this now, y'all, if you didn't know, now you know. I can tell a story, you know?
She bang.
I tell a story and you're going to get the whole fucking story. But the craziest thing that ever happened to me, well, actually then two things, because I almost lost my life in both of these situations, but I'll sum them up real short. And the first one was I had got robbed in Milwaukee. Had a lot of money on me at one time. I was at the casino. I was in Milwaukee, and I was just in the wrong place, wrong time, looking for some stuff that I didn't need to be looking for. And some people took advantage of that situation, robbed me at gunpoint. And when I say it was like a movie, bro, like I don't know, any type of action movie you could think of, and you see somebody with like a gun pointed to their head, and like all of a sudden they might have a million memories pop up. Yeah. Like that's what happened to me. Like my life flashed before my eyes.
Shit, that nigga had me scared, but I held my own. Fuck that.
Like an epiphany.
Yeah, like I was almost preparing myself for what it was about to feel like to get shot. Like that's how serious it was. I couldn't get myself to think, get myself to focus. The whole car ride from after what happened all the way home, like it was like a movie. I couldn't hear anything. It was like a white noise. It was bad. So that's number one. And then number two was the car accident that I got into, which why I also got this tattooed on me, Jesus' face right here. This was actually one of my first tattoos. This is my second tattoo ever. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I got him tattooed on me is because I got into a car accident on Highway 23. This was 2012. I'm like 17, 18, maybe 19 years old. And my family lived in Oshkosh at the time. Right. I celebrated the 4th of July here in Sheboygan, and I drove at like 3 o'clock in the morning from Sheboygan back to Oshkosh. I was on Highway 23 that's the highway from Sheboygan to Fond du Lac.
And that's before the
This is before the 2-lane
Yeah,
highway.
that shit was crucial. If you know, you know.
Right, so this is just 2 lanes where like this traffic's going here and this traffic's going here. You know what I mean? So I was in a brand new car at the time, brand new off the lot. Still just got it. Like it was a year. You know how when cars come out, like say it's 2025, they got 2026s out? Yeah. That's what it was. It was 2012, I had a 2013. And I was driving by myself, hadn't been drinking, hadn't been smoking, nothing. But it just happened to be so late at night. And I also found out later, I asked the doctor, like, how did that even happen to me? He said, well, number one, you were in a brand new car with the heat on, it's late at night, your body just got comfortable and relaxed. So what happened was I'm just driving, I ended up passing out, falling asleep, and I veered over the center line, and I crashed head-on into a semi. Car flipped about like 8 times, ended up in a ditch, started on fire. I had to like break out of the car, climb up to the highway, just a whole mess, right? Like saw my life flash before my eyes that day as well, and it's just stuff you'll never forget.
That shit's crazy.
For real.
Is there anything or any message you would like to give out to the youngins or just the people?
I don't have anything like written up or like planned.
From the heart, dog. From the heart.
Honestly, like to
The
make
heart.
it super short and simple, bro. Like exactly what my brand is, Dreams Work. Like that's what I stand for. So like without sitting here and giving you answer that I already had planned out, like what I mean by dreams work and what dreams work means to me is like it doesn't even have to be a dream, but anything that you believe in that you could be successful in or whatever it is that you want to do, it only works if you work. You know what I mean? Like you have to put the work in.
Right.
And you can't half-ass it. That's why another thing I say is like you gotta only you and God know, or only you and whatever you believe in know. You have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, and be honest with yourself, and say like, hey, yes, you are putting in the work, and yes, you do deserve the blessings that you're asking for. Or you're looking yourself in the mirror and you're lying to yourself and you just know. You're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna get all the blessings that you're asked for if you're looking yourself in the mirror and you know you're lying to yourself.
Right.
That's why I say dreams work. You have to put the honest work in. And whatever it is you want to accomplish, if you want to be a police officer, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to go to the NBA, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is my kids want to do, they will do it as long as they put the work in. It doesn't matter what their mom or what their dad accomplished. It doesn't matter what people before you and your family did, because what's that shit that they call it?
Breaking the cycles.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of true, but it's like at the same time, you that shit isn't.
You pave your own way.
Exactly.
Like they showed you.
Exactly.
But you pave your own way.
So my message is like after all the bullshit that I went through, after all the negativity, all the abuse, everything that was traumatic that happened in my life, I didn't let it define me. Like I was just like, you know what, I want better. I'm not gonna let my kids see that type of stuff. I'm not gonna let that determine how the rest of my life goes. And that's just something that I continue to focus on every single day. I'm just like, bro, I'm not giving up. Like my kids deserve a better me. They deserve the best me, and that's my motivation right there.
For sure. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, bro, like this. To end it all off, man. This right here is what I live for, bro. Like, if it was a podcast or if it was just me and you having a conversation, like one of those if you know situations, like this is who I am. Having these type of heartfelt conversations and being able to just
let it pour out.
Yeah, like let it pour out naturally, or even just share opinions, or just whatever it is, having shits and giggles, bro. Like I live for this type of stuff right here. So I support what you're doing 110%. Like I was telling you off camera as well. Like, bro, I see the confidence. I hear the confidence. You're just growing so much in what you're doing. So like, bro, you got my support. I know you got a lot of other people's support. Just keep doing it for you. Whether you feel the support or not, bro, just keep going, man, and I hope to see you continue to do great things, bro.
Appreciate that. Likewise, my boy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
And like I said, and like we said, and he said, DreamWorks is going to be in works of something great, so stay tuned with that.
Yes, sir.
And more information of just DreamWorks, and if you want to get in contact with him, that information will be down below. So just stay in tune with that. And that's it we got for today, folks. And thanks y'all for coming. It's Don Vic.
It's that boy Melo, man.
Y'all have a great night. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Don Vic out.
It's fucking great, wasn't it?
Shit, that nigga had me scared, but I held my own. Fuck that.